Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, February the 7th. It's National Periodic Table Day. What's your favorite element? Do you have one?
Probably gold.
Just
because when I learned it, I remembered it by saying, "Hey, you, where you going with my gold?"
And for me, my favorite element is the element of surprise. Doesn't quite work. It's also National Send a Card to a Friend Day, so I'm going to start working on that right now. And it's National Fettuccine Alfredo Day. I like that. It's good stuff. I also have a Dear John letter, and we need your help, folks, because this guy may or may not have a job on Monday. So, so we're going to be talking about that later in the program. So if you would be so kind to chime in with your advice, you can do so at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at weirdgiftoftheday.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the weird gift of the day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. weirdgiftoftheday.com. That's weirdgiftoftheday.com.
Time now for surveys and studies and such. There's a company called Plenty of Fish. It's like a dating thing, right? Dating
Yeah, it
site or
is.
something like
Yeah.
that. It says a survey by Plenty of Fish found that 1 in 4 people have feared for their safety on a date in the past year. Have you ever feared for your safety on a date?
No.
Me neither. Maybe you should be careful who you're dating if you do. That is kind of crazy. 1 in 4 people? That's 25%.
Well, if you're going out with a complete stranger that
Yeah.
you happen to meet on the computer, and
Well,
you don't know who these people are.
And isn't that like the free page? Isn't that the one that's so...
Well, there's a paid
Is there-
version.
Well, we
too,
have a
I
friend
think,
that was on
but-
that, and he was talking about some of the... He's like, they call up Plenty of Fish because you got to throw them back quite often. I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good way. I've never done the online dating thing. I've always been, I'm married, so I haven't... Since this came around, we're celebrating our anniversary on Monday. Can you believe that? 19 years.
I know.
Holy cow. But I've never done the whole online thing, so be careful. And if you feel like your safety is in jeopardy, bring somebody with maybe. I don't know what to do. That's just crazy. This is surveys and studies and such on this Thursday. Credit cards. For years, I didn't use credit cards. We paid off all of our debt and we quit using credit altogether. But then our credit score went down. It was affecting our insurance rates. Not sure why, but that's tied to your credit score. I'm not suggesting you rack up credit card debt just to rack up credit card debt. But my wife and I now each use a credit card and then we pay them off every month. It's helped our credit score. But not all cards are the same. Some cards are better than others. If you'd like to find one that's the best fit for you, check out bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net. And this is your brain on drugs. Connecticut police arrested a Nebraska man for DUI after he drove his car 17 miles in the wrong direction. He told the cops that he, quote, shouldn't have had that last one. Or maybe the 15 leading up to that last one. So he was driving the wrong way on the interstate. Do you remember the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yes.
You're going the wrong way. And they're like, how do they know where we're going?
Yes, I do.
I thought that was really a very funny scene. But have you ever seen that happen?
I
Have you
have
ever been in a
not.
car that's done that?
No.
I was in one. My grandmother, and God rest her soul, she was way too old to be driving, but she was driving my brother and I, and we turned onto a 4-lane road that was divided, and she pulled in, went too far. Instead of turning right, she went into the other lane and got in the right lane of the oncoming traffic. And we drove that way for like 15 miles.
Oh, wow.
And cars were just veering around us and honking, and she didn't even pay attention. And she's just driving and smiling. I'm like, I told my brother, we're going to die. Thank goodness we didn't. But, yeah, be careful out there. That's definitely what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Charlie Sheen has cut $1.5 million from the price of his Beverly Hills bachelor pad. So now it's a bargain, Heidi. I don't know if it's a bargain.
We'll take 2.
Yeah. The Young and the Restless star Christoph St. John passed away. He was found dead in his California home at age 52. That's sad.
It is too bad.
That was like a week ago. And how in the world am I just getting to that now? And then ratings for CBS broadcasts of Super Bowl LIII.
They weren't very good from what I heard.
It was a 10-year low, and it was the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history with only 16 points total, 13 on one side and 3 on the other. I'm sure people know all of that stuff by now, but the ratings were really, really low, which is kind of sad. We watched. We weren't planning on it. It was kind of on in the background.
I wasn't really watching it.
Really
I
watch
was
it either.
there.
So I wonder if we count towards that number. Probably not.
I don't think so.
All right. This has been your big screen, little screen. We've got your scoop of the day on the way.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the Desert. Hear awesome 80s music from Scandal, featuring Patti Smythe, A Flock of Seagulls, Richard Page of Mr. Mister, Tony Lewis from The Outfield, Pretty Poison, Thomas Dolby, and more. Also, meet people from your favorite 80s movies, like Robert Hayes from Airplane, E.G. Daily from Valley Girl, and more. May 3rd and May 4th. Get more info now at 80sinthedesert.rocks. Use promo code RADIO to save $25 per ticket.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. Vegans are furious with a Hyundai Super Bowl commercial that mocked the idea of a meatless dinner party as like a bad experience. Have you seen that ad? It's the one with Jason Bateman.
I saw it. I love
where the lady said,
Jason Bateman.
"Oh, have some beetloaf," and
Yeah.
the whole. What you guys got to understand. Comedy is this. It is something that's true magnified.
Yes.
So the truth is there are a lot of people who don't like vegan food. They're not saying that you shouldn't like it, but if you are not a vegan and you're invited to a vegan beetloaf party,
Right.
that's probably not like a...
Yeah.
So
that
I
is
don't,
not something I would go to.
And here's the thing. Don't be upset at Hyundai. They were
Oh
just...
my gosh. Quit being upset over
It was
everything.
just a silly commercial. And again, I understand where you could go, oh, hey, that...
If you're that
I don't like
miserable,
that. I don't know.
you
Just-
need some help.
Let's move on. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, or Bezos. How do you say it? I've heard it 3 ways now.
I don't know who he is, but I've always heard it Bezos.
Okay. Well, he pulled out of a $20 million Super Bowl ad after it was revealed that his mistress, Lauren Sanchez, shot the footage for the commercial. So I don't know if this is the one. I didn't see this on the Super Bowl, but I saw one where it was online, and it was all the versions of Alexa that didn't work. It was actually very clever. And Harrison Ford was in it. There was supposedly a version of Alexa that was a dog collar. And every time the dog barked, Alexa would say, ordering dog food. Ordering dog food.
Oh, funny.
And there was a whole pallet of dog food that showed up. And Harrison Ford was on his front steps, and he said, I'm not talking to you. I thought that was very clever. So I don't know if that's the one or if it's a different one. Hawaiian Airlines flight returned to Los Angeles 3 separate times before finally flying to Hawaii. What in the world? If you were on that plane, would you just say, can I get off and take a different plane? That would kind of make me a little nervous.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go anywhere in that.
A Florida Gators fan, several of them have gone viral for hitting... I'm sorry, let me try that again. A Florida Gators fan has gone viral. Several people have been sharing it. For a half-court shot from the third row seat in the student section. And he's getting, the student that did this half-court shot from the seats, donuts for life. Don't you think it should be more than that? It should be like, hey, you get your tuition for free. I mean,
tuition.
That's a tough.
Wow.
I'm just saying that is a tough shot from the student
section.
section.
I'm sure it was just luck.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, it was really cool, and they were getting a lot of press for it. A London zoo has a Valentine's Day promotion for you in their cockroach exhibit. It allows you to name a cockroach after somebody for $2.
I can think of somebody I'd like to name one
X's.
after.
Hey, this is my cockroach. I named him after you. So I don't know if that's a term of endearment or is that more of a negative? I think that's kind of a negative, isn't it? Pretty
That's
sure.
amazing. I would spend the money on that. It would just make me happy inside.
There you go. British officials have received Cold War emergency plans to relocate the Queen in the event that Brexit protests would lead to an unrest at Buckingham Palace. So they dug out the plans. What are we going to do in a Cold War emergency? And they're planning on using that if something goes down. Kansas police officer was forced to shoot a charging cow that escaped from a slaughterhouse. There's something you don't see in big cities usually.
No, yeah, really.
Kansas police officer had to shoot a charging cow, escaped from a slaughterhouse. That's crazy. And Hawaii is considering the idea of becoming the first state ever to ban cigarettes. Well, they're not going to ban them. Under the proposal, you have to be 100 years old to buy cigarettes. So, finally...
What?
Seriously. Finally, there'll be some people that will spend time with
so there's
great-grandma.
a perk for being 100.
Yeah, gonna take great grandma and hey, can you buy me some smokes?
Oh, that
grandma?
is ridiculous.
Well, I don't understand the plan, but that's interesting. And a 27-year-old man from Mumbai is suing his parents for giving birth to him without his consent.
I saw this.
just
This
don't
just
understand
irritates the heck out of
I
me.
don't get that.
How
And
can
then-
they get your consent?
They can't.
If you're not born.
I don't know. And one last thing.
The world, there will be no more people ever
Yeah.
if this went through and this guy gets paid.
He's not going to. He's not going to.
It's ridiculous.
It's
you
just-
can't get
he's
consent
looking
from
for
someone
attention.
that doesn't exist.
Or they could say, "We got your consent. You just don't remember it. You were such a child. You were such a tiny little child. You didn't
It's
exist yet."
ridiculous.
And one last story here. Dementia patients in the United Kingdom are now being monitored by wearable smart meters. That is such a great idea. So it's like a Fitbit kind of thing. Mm. Because there are times where dementia patients will kind of wander off and then they're going, "Oh no, where is he or where is she?" This, I think, is brilliant. Why in the world is it just starting now?
Yeah, really.
Cool idea. That's going to do it for your Scoop of the Day, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net.
Do you have IRS tax problems? Are they keeping you up at night? Afraid to open your own mail or even answer your telephone? If your tax problems are affecting your family life, you need to know you have options. You have rights, and we'll make sure you get them. Call and speak with Mike Habib, the tax expert who will handle your case at 877-78-TAXES or online at myirs.taxrelief.com. That's 877-78-TAXES or myirs.taxrelief.com.
And it's time right now for
Dear John Letters.
Dear John, dear John.
All right, we need some urgent help here for our Dear John writer. Possibly unemployed is his name, so that's not a good way to start.
That's not real.
No.
It's not real positive.
But take a listen to what happened, and I've got some advice that I'm going to give you, and I don't know if this will be what everybody else agrees with, but you can chime in on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show, and I'm sure this person would appreciate it. Dear John, I need your help quickly. I took a week off work to visit my family, but I'm not sure if I have a job waiting for me when I get back on Monday. Let me explain. My mother is sick. I sent a message to my boss Friday to let him know I needed to be here with her. His response made it sound like I won't have my job when I get back. But he's also a bit of a funny guy, so he may have been joking. I'm not sure. So now I wonder if he was kidding or if he was serious. I've been honored with the Employee of the Month on a few occasions. I wouldn't have just left for a fun week with friends, but my mom is in critical condition and I need to be here. Now, my sister has me worried that I may have made the wrong decision. How do I move forward from here? I'm going to be back in town on Sunday, and I planned to go back to work on Monday. Do I call ahead to see if I still have a job, or do I just show up? Or do you think I should see what other jobs are out there just in case? Signed, possibly unemployed.
Just pull a Costanza.
I was going to say exactly the same
Go to
thing.
work.
George Costanza on Seinfeld, he quit his job, and then he just showed back up because he realized, like, oh no, what did I do? And he just showed up. I wouldn't typically suggest that, but in this situation, I would just go in,
Right,
and
I would go
see,
in.
you know.
Because if you don't go in and you hadn't lost your job, then
Now you're
you'll
going to
be
lose it for sure.
then
So-
you will lose it.
So I kind of think you have to go. And you're asking, should you call ahead to see? I don't know. If you want to, you certainly can, but I would not, because I think that's going to just be awkward, and you're going to be reminding them that you did this again.
Just pull a Costanza.
I think if you just show up, and if when you get there, if your desk is all packed up and you're gone, maybe you want to start looking to see what else is out there.
Well, I mean, if you get
just
there
in
and your
case.
desk is packed up, you can just say, I was just coming in to get my belongings.
Yeah, come to get my stuff.
That's all.
Really sorry things ended the way they ended. I certainly wouldn't burn a bridge, you know.
No.
If they did let you go, just say I understand.
I mean, that's really
but
crappy
you guys
if
also
they
need
did.
to understand I had to be with my mother. This was
Right.
something that was important. And also something I need to say, I hope your mom's okay. It doesn't say in here if mom's okay or not. It said in the letter originally that she was in critical condition. So hopefully mom's okay, which should be number one priority right now. And I just think it's crazy that scenario happened. Here's the thing I don't understand. It says, I sent a message to my boss Friday to let him know. The way to avoid this in the future.
Yeah, you don't want to send a message.
No,
you call
I
him and
had-
let him know what's going on.
I had a boss. This was his example, and it doesn't translate well to the radio, but I'm holding a pen in my hand, and I'm going to hand that over to Heidi, and you need to take that.
Okay.
So he said, that's taking responsibility. Now it's your responsibility. I handed it off to you. I can't throw that pen to you and hope you catch it.
Right.
So if I'm going to take a day off, I can't just say, on the voicemail
Right.
somewhere, not going to be there. I needed to, at that job that I had, I needed to find someone who would take that responsibility, and I'm going to be there. So then if something happens, I can say, no, Jim said he would be there, so it's Jim's fault, not my fault.
Right.
I can't just leave a message and say, hey, I'm not going to be there. I think that's really important. In the day and age that we live in now, with technology being very much a part of our life, you can easily send a text. You can easily send a DM. You can easily send an email or a snap. But nothing replaces an actual phone call. Because if you called, or even better, in person, but it sounds like this all happened after work sometime last week, so otherwise I'm sure you would have had it in person. But if you would have made a phone call and talked to your boss, you would know if he was kidding or not. And I guess I'm assuming it says he is a funny guy. You would have known for sure if he was kidding or if he was serious, because you could tell by the tone of their voice. You can't tell by the tone of someone's text. You have no idea. So
many things get messed up by misreading texts.
And I saw a conversation that I wasn't really a part of. It was a group message where there were like 6 people involved in this thing. And I wasn't involved in it at all because I was busy. I don't have time to look at that stuff. I hate text messages, and I really hate group text messages. But I saw in this conversation where 2 people were arguing back and forth, and I read it completely different than the person who was reading it. And it turned into a big brouhaha because somebody read it wrong.
Brouhaha.
Yeah, it's a technical term.
Okay.
It turned into a big quagmire because the person who read it interpreted it completely differently than I think it was meant, and definitely completely different than the way that person meant it. So, yeah, just be careful. And if you have some advice for possibly unemployed, you can chime in at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Credit cards. For years, I didn't use credit cards. We paid off all of our debt and we quit using credit altogether. But then our credit score went down. It was affecting our insurance rates. Not sure why, but that's tied to your credit score. I'm not suggesting you rack up credit card debt just to rack up credit card debt. But my wife and I now each use a credit card and then we pay them off every month. It's helped our credit score. But not all cards are the same. Some cards are better than others. If you'd like to find one that's the best fit for you, check out bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
France did not stop executing people with the guillotine until 1977. How crazy is that? That's something you think of as like a medieval thing or a long, long time ago thing. They were doing that up till, just 40 plus years ago. So as we think of that,
that'd be a horrible way to go.
It would be.
Oh my gosh.
So Saturday Night Fever was in theaters. Star Wars was released, and they were still executing people with the guillotine or the guillotine. I think it's guillotine, isn't it?
I think it's guillotine.
I think so too. But just in case you've never heard it that way, this final person lost their head on February the 24th, 1977. Crazy. It's going to be today's fun fact.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the Desert. Hear awesome 80s music from Scandal, featuring Patty Smythe, A Flock of Seagulls, Richard Page of Mr. Mister, Tony Lewis from The Outfield, Pretty Poison, Thomas Dolby, and more. Also, meet people from your favorite 80s movies, like Robert Hayes from Airplane, E.G. Daily from Valley Girl, and more. May 3rd and May 4th. Get more info now at 80sindethedesert.rocks. Use promo code RADIO to save $25 per ticket.
Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. Heidi, what do you think this phobia is? Ichthyophobia. 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 It's hard to say.
I don't know.
The fear of fish. So, there you go.
I wouldn't have ever gotten that.
If you're afraid of fish, it's ichthyophobia. Today's fun with phobias.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the Weird Gift of the Day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A New Jersey man was recently arrested on charges of aggravated assault and practicing medicine without a license after a woman was reportedly left with facial scars following a botched laser surgery. There's a lot going on there. We're going to break that down. The woman has not been identified, but she told the police that a man from a barbershop, 72-year-old Young Juan Chow, performed laser surgery on her face in 2017. It caused her significant bodily injury, which includes scars on both her face and her chin. Why was she having this done in a barbershop?
Yeah, exactly. You might want to do a little bit of research before you let somebody come at your face.
They conducted an investigation into her complaint. They revealed that this doctor was not a doctor, meaning it is illegal for him to practice medicine or surgery.
Oh, my God.
But he's been doing it for a while, and apparently this one is the one that got him caught. So, wow, that is definitely today's weird news. Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. A South Carolina woman was arrested yesterday for pouring water over the face of her sleeping infant daughter, an act of child cruelty that she recorded and uploaded to her Facebook page. What is wrong with people?
Like just cold water?
Well,
or?
let's read this here. 33-year-old Caitlin Alice Hardy was collared. I love that they're saying that instead of arrested. Collared. It's a new thing they say nowadays. When they found disturbing images on a social media site, that's what led them to her, where twice she poured water on her sleeping 9-month-old girl. Police noted that after the second dousing, the infant woke up coughing, spitting out water.
Right.
The video uploaded to her Facebook page had the caption, "Payback for waking me up all kind of times
Oh, my gosh.
of the night." It was accompanied by emojis of a baby and a smiling face with tears of joy. The video, and she had it says the brand name. I'm not even going to drag them into this. A water bottle, I'm going to just say.
Oh, my gosh.
She could be heard laughing as she pours water on her child who was sleeping in a crib, charged with cruelty to children in connection with the January 26th incident at her residence. So, wow.
Kind of a nut.
I don't know. It don't make no sense to me. So I know that was not grammatically correct, but it's just
that
bizarre.
poor baby.
Absolutely. This is definitely today's moment of duh. Credit cards. For years, I didn't use credit cards. We paid off all of our debt and we quit using credit altogether. But then our credit score went down. It was affecting our insurance rates. Not sure why, but that's tied to your credit score. I'm not suggesting you rack up credit card debt just to rack up credit card debt. But my wife and I now each use a credit card and then we pay them off every month. It's helped our credit score. But not all cards are the same. Some cards are better than others. If you'd like to find one that's the best fit for you, check out bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net. Now, these three things, Heidi, what do these three things have in common? A canopy bed, a football field, and a fence. Think about that. Canopy bed, a football field, and a fence. What do those three things have in common? Anybody that knows the answer, shout that out right now so everybody around you knows just how smart you are. A canopy bed. You had a canopy bed growing up, right? So you know what those are. A football field. You've seen those before, right?
Yeah.
And a fence. You know what those are, right? Yeah. What do they all have in common? Think about what's around the perimeter of a canopy bed.
Rails?
No. And what's at the end of each football field?
Oh, posts.
There you go. They all have posts. And a fence, well, a fence without posts is just a pile of wires.
Yeah, okay.
So, or a pile of boards, I guess. A canopy bed, a football field, and a fence. They all have posts. It's today's answer for these three things.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.net. And I think this is just a really cool story, Heidi. First of all, I got to just say, I love the good news. Always love
I do too.
ending things on a positive note. But I really like it when it's really good news like this. Here's the headline. A seagull has been visiting a man who saved his life, and he's been visiting him almost every single day for years now. The last 12 years. So this man saved a seagull's life 12 years ago, and then he gets a visit from this seagull, like almost every day. A fly over and just kind of say, hey, man, what's going on? My computer's going so slow.
How does he know it's the same seagull?
Well,
Did he tag it or something?
No, he returns to visit him every single day, and he feeds him. John Sumner and his feathered friend he named Chirpy, they've developed a unique bond since they started spending a portion of every day playing together on the beach. He first met the bird with a broken leg, and luckily for the seagull, he helped nurse this bird back to life. He said, I saw him screaming and shouting above my head in agony, and I didn't know what to do. He was 80 years old, this gentleman is now. He says, the next day, he came around me again, and he tried to land, but he was screaming in pain. I didn't think he would live. The leg was completely broken. To help the bird, he fed him a dog biscuit that he originally had brought along to feed his puppy dog, Jack, a tradition that those two kind of had for a long time. But with the help of the human counterpart, Chirpy's leg was healed. Although it was a bit crooked, the bird was able to land regularly by himself now, and he shares a special friendship. So he's the bird with a crooked leg. That's how he can tell that it's him.
Okay.
Says he comes right up to me. He gets so close, he won't go to anybody else, but he comes to me. We've got some sort of relationship. In March, he will go off and do his natural thing, but then in September, he comes back to me, as he always does, and, then he's
That's
hanging
really
with him.
sweet.
So he's there every year during the chili season. I think that's really cool.
He likes chili?
No, it's cold outside. What are you talking about? I kind of had that one coming, didn't I? Oh, that was a John
That's
joke.
one
Heidi.
unique bird.
Yeah, it is a bird. It's really seagull visiting the same man for the last 12 years. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. That was a good one, by the way. That's my kind of joke. I know, there's people that rolled their eyes. I'm over here going, oh, I'm so proud of my wife right now. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.